Hi, it's Steve Hargadon, and welcome to the 7th Annual Global Education Conference. This is the 2016 version. We're so excited that you're here. This is just a terrific year. Great keynote speakers and great presentations. Tonight we have Jeanne Meyers and Wendy Milette from the My Hero Project. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Steve.
And Mohammed is here. Mohammed, welcome. His microphone's not on, so we'll just accept a casual wave. Okay. Okay. Thanks to our sponsors and supporters. Yes. Thanks for being here, Mohammed. Okay, so special thanks to VIF and Google for Education, TES, Iron USA, and Chrome Warrior. And you can see the rest of our sponsors and supporters on the website, but we really appreciate the fact that they help make this a free event. This is the time when you get to indicate on the map where you're participating from. Look to the left of the map for the icons. You're looking for the second one down, the star icon. You click on that. You probably have to click twice, and then you click on the map. And that looks like Nepal to me. Please put a note in the chat. Let us know where you're participating from, maybe the time and the temperature.
Canada. And it is Nepal.
And it is Govinda. Oh, I think it's Govinda. Who's GP?
Yes, Govinda. Hello.
Govinda's been one of our favorite stories because he would come in on a mobile phone wireless connection from the remote parts of Nepal.
Wow.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. We've got a lot of slides, so I'm going to move us forward here, but you can keep putting a note in the chat indicating where you're from. I'm going to turn the time over to Jeanne and Wendy. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity, and we're very happy to be here with you. And the mission of the My Hero Project is to use media, art, and technology to celebrate the best of the humanity one story at a time. And we launched this project back in 1995. We've been online ever since, and we've been growing. And students in 197 countries participate in our global learning project. They're learning about heroes from all walks of life from around the world, and we have different themes that we use on our homepage to reinforce ideas that are connected to the UN calendar, to eradicate hunger and poverty, the International Day of Forgiveness, to celebrate heroes like Malala, to celebrate those working to fight AIDS. So you can use My Hero as a resource to talk about problems and then the people that are addressing the problems. So it's a resource on all different kinds of themes, and we have a relationship with the Associated Press. So we pull in stories, especially stories celebrating women, science, and technology, where there's innovation and discoveries that are coming about that can help create a positive effect on the world. So that is a resource to you online, and it's free in the My Hero Newswire. Wendy, I'd like you to explain a little bit about where we get our content and how it comes together through our digital toolkit.
So what you'll learn is with My Hero, and I did put myhero.com in the chat as well as contact information for Jeanne and I. So if you want to follow up with questions and connections and more in-depth ways to connect with us, it's right there. A digital toolkit is the way that teachers and students can participate and share who your heroes are through stories, art, films, and music. And so as your students start to write stories and make art and make films about their heroes and write songs, that they can share them online, and they then have this digital toolkit and archive that they'll be able to carry with them as they grow. And it's a wonderful, valuable tool. So in addition to being inspired by all the stories, they also we encourage everyone to participate and create.
So the kinds of stories that you'll see in My Hero celebrate a diverse range of heroes from all walks of life. And we're evolving a new website. We've been online since 1995. This is a little preview of the new website and the directory of stories. And when you see this, you'll be able to click on artists and see stories and art and films about artists. And you'll be able to see stories about peacemakers and environmental heroes and family heroes. And the library of stories, which is now over 40,000 essays, has been built by teachers, students, and people of all ages from around the world who have been sharing their idea of heroism. Everything on My Hero is reviewed by staff before it's published online, and we will not promote hatred, violence, racism, or sexism. We're non-denominational, and we really want to be a bridge for cross-cultural understanding and appreciation of individuals who are trying to make a positive difference in their communities and their homes and around the world. So we have visitors of all ages. These are some of the heroes celebrated. You may know some of them. Jane Goodall is probably well known, and Martin Luther King and Gandhi. Kathy Eldon you may not know about, but she's an amazing hero, and her story is on our website, and she also gives an award at our film festival. Wangari Maathai, you'll see more about her on the rest of the slide deck, but she's one of the heroes that I learned about just by being involved in My Hero, and she founded the Greenbelt movement in Kenya and was responsible for planting over 30 million trees. And her story is celebrated in My Hero in art, in animated films, and documentary films, and she contributed a chapter to our book, and she's a Nobel Prize winner. She passed away, I think, 2 years ago, but her story is really one of hope and inspiration, and you can use the media from My Hero to teach your kids about Wangari Maathai and other heroes. So this is young Matty Stepanek, who at the age of 3 had lost his siblings to the same disease that he had, and he started writing poetry. And he was nominated as a hero on My Hero by a hospice worker who was working with him and his mom because he wasn't expected to live very long. And we were able to get an Intel to donate a computer to Matty, and he started publishing his poems. And then his poems became printed into a book, and he became a best-selling author, friends with Jimmy Carter and Oprah, and he passed away just short of his 13th birthday. But we've celebrated Matty and heroes like Matty working for peace and people who've overcome great obstacles on our website, and you can read about Matty on My Hero. So these are some of the other heroes that you can get a sense of what's in the library. I have to move through. And then Wendy spoke about creating a My Hero webpage. We award T-shirt prizes to students who create outstanding essays. So these are pictures of some of the students who have written stories that we think would be of interest to a wider audience, and we send a T-shirt prize to the students. Okay, we have young heroes, and one of the young heroes that's in the room with us right now is Mohammed Sidibe. And Mohammed Sidibe was nominated as a hero when he was a student in Sierra Leone, a former child soldier who has gravitated towards education as a power to change the world and to be an activist for peace and human rights. And I'm going to let Mohammed take the mic for a minute and talk about My Hero. There you go, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. Like Jeannie mentioned, to me, I believe in the power of education, because I think that you can give a woman or man the world, and that world can and could crumble. But if you give them an education, they can and they will rebuild their world. I grew up in a place where there were no heroes. I grew up in a place where there's no one that I admire. I'm originally from Sierra Leone, and this is not saying that my country, Sierra Leone, is a bad place. However, because of the conflicts that my country endured for like a decade, I was forced to be an adult. I was forced to grow up from when I was 5 years old to when I was 9 years old. And the first time I went to school, I was 10. And so when I started school and people talking about a hero, I'm just like, one hero, because, again, for me, unless you call someone who gives you a gun and tell you to shoot the person next to your hero, I didn't really have anyone that I admire, and you only have one goal. You don't admire people, you just try to survive. And so this whole concept of like a hero, was new to me, and when my friend back in Sierra Leone, Rashid Peters, introduced me to the My Hero Project, I was the least bit interested, because I feel like, okay, people out there don't care, like, this is what my life has been, so why should I care to share my story with them? But the more I learned about the My Hero Project, the more I realized that what the My Hero Project stands for, what My Hero Project stood for back then and what it still stands for now, which is this acceptance that the world is a bad place and that bad things are going to happen. However, if good people, enough good people, continue to do little things in their own way, and those little things will eventually outnumber the bad things. And I think there's a philosophy that has driven me towards my hero that, Jeanne has this belief, this thing that she tries to get through the My Hero Project, that there are not enough bad people in the world and there are good people. It's just like oftentimes the bad people are more organized than the good people, and Jeanne's trying to change that using the My Hero Project. And so being celebrated as one of the heroes for the My Hero Project and having worked with Jeanne for the past couple of years, I think for me, and having been a teacher in a classroom, I see the ever-growing need for organizations and ideas like the My Hero Project who try to say, like, you can celebrate your hero. Your hero doesn't have to be famous. Your hero can be your mom. Your hero can be your teacher. Your hero can be the guy that you walk by the street. Your hero can be someone you admire. You don't have to look like your hero. You don't have to speak the same language. You don't have to believe. You don't have to have the same religion. You just have to do one aspect of their lives that they're trying to do to add just a little bit good to the world that you admire about them, and they can be your hero for that. And I think My Hero is trying to break this barrier that separates you from us, because oftentimes we always think that we're that different, but we really are not that different. And so I am very much so glad to have had the opportunity to work with the My Hero team for a very long time, and for them to give me the platform to be able to share my story with the world and tell people that we're not that different, and that we can work towards making the world a much better place. And I'll pass it back to Jeanne.
So thank you. Mohammed last month spoke at the United Nations. He's advocating for every child to have a right to an education, along with Malala and some other powerful young visionaries who are committed to human rights and children's rights. So we're grateful for Mohammed's participation in My Hero. And, we also spend a lot of time working on celebrating environmental heroes. We give an award with One World, One Ocean to honor Sylvia Earle, who's known as her deepness, and she has been working to protect our oceans. So there's so many ways that we're connected to each other from around the world, and human rights and earthkeepers are important parts of our story library and resources that we want to provide to teachers and ask students as well to share their peacemaking heroes and their earthkeeper heroes from their community. So we spoke about WANGARI MAATHAI already, but really I encourage you, Wendy will give you the link. There's a beautiful short film in our festival that won the best of the fest, and it's called I Will Be a Hummingbird. And it's only, I think, 2.5 minutes long. But its message is profound, and she comes in as a real person with animation talking about we're all just doing the best we can. And that's the best that we should do and we must do. And so her story of planting 30 million trees and being the first woman from Africa to get her PhD in biology and to go on to become a Nobel Peace Prize winner is an extraordinary story, but it's really a simple act of planting a tree that she really developed a whole network of women that were planting trees. So My Hero is planting seeds, and teachers are really the ones who are doing all the hard work and nurturing the garden. And Esther, I'm going to let Wendy explain to you our newest hero that we're giving the Global Educator Award to.
Yes, so Esther WOJCICKI is getting the Global Educator Award this year, and we're going to be premiering a documentary that Jeanne and I are working on in her honor, and really to help share her philosophy with teachers and students worldwide. And you know, at the core of her philosophy is what she's discovered is that you really need to bring more trust into the classroom and really treat the students with respect and give them control over their learning. And as she's done this, she's a journalism teacher at Palo Alto High School, and she stepped back out of the being the sage on the stage and let the students take charge, and the result is just, it's profound. The publications the students are working on and their engagement with their learning, it just really takes your breath away, gives you hope for how education could be. So we really want to encourage people to learn more about Esther and see about getting her book. I'm going to put a couple more links in the chat. And as we're going along here, keep looking into the chat because we're going to be trying to add links to enhance what we're telling you about, because there's just so much that we want to share. I also want to acknowledge Wendy Jewell, part of our team, who's just joined our session here.
So we'll get to that part in a second. Thank you for being here, everyone, especially Wendy and Mohammed. We're so glad you can help us present. And we're just back on this slide about Mohammed Sidibe, and I wanted to explain that he hosted our International Day of Peace celebration, and the media from that event is online, and you can watch a series of short films with some amazing heroes working for peace, and that's on myhero.com, and Wendy will try and put the link in there for you as well. So we're honoring as well this next week Jenny Stepanek, Dr. Jenny Stepanek, mother of Maddie, after her son and all of her children died of the same disease that she had the adult onset for. She went on to get her PhD. She's teaching peace and conflict resolution, and she's an amazing force of nature, and she's known as Mama Peace and works with young people from around the world. So learn about Dr. Jenny Stepanek on My Hero and why we're giving her the Humanitarian Award. There's a beautiful film that Oprah is sharing with us that she produced this summer from her program Super Soul Sunday, and Wendy's going to put the link in there to the film that you can watch about Jenny Stepanek. Kathy Eldon's been celebrated on our website for many years, and she's the mother of a slain photojournalist, and she is also giving an award at our festival, the Dan Eldon Activist Award. And you know, Kathy Eldon, Dan Eldon are people that you would be very inspired to know and learn about on My Hero, and then go to her website, Creative Visions Foundation, and learn more about her amazing work that she's doing. So working for building up stories and telling the stories of those working for peace and those working to protect the planet is something that's very important to us. We also have a book that came out in 2007 by Simon & Schuster, and all of these amazing individuals contributed their chapters. And many of these chapters are online on My Hero, so you can read a chapter written by Frances Moore LePay about Wangari Maathai. You can read a chapter about Wangari Maathai about her heroes. And Congressman John Lewis wrote a beautiful essay about his hero, Dr. Martin Luther King. And these are all 3- or 4-page essays that are really easy to read out loud in the classroom to begin the invitation to students to listen to some famous people's stories and then tell their story. That's one approach people can use. Erin Gruelle won our award last year as a global educator. She's the founder of the Freedom Writers Foundation, and you know, one of the many wonderful people you can learn about on My Hero. The other thing that we have added to the website is spoken word. So if you're an ESL teacher, you can have students read the story in English and then listen along to the audio file. So it'll reinforce their listening, their learning skills in terms of reading, and helping them acquire language skills. So we have about 400 stories that can be listened to as students read along with them. And the library My Hero is curated by a wonderful woman named Becky Miller, who spends all of her time reading essays that are coming in from around the world and also adding books to our library. So these are all recommended reading, but there's thousands of them. My Hero's been online since 1995, so our library is quite extensive. You can't read the book, but you can find out about the book and order it yourself from our library. And again, we have stories in English and in Spanish. We have stories in French and in English. So we'd love, with your help, to expand that library into more content in Spanish, English, and other languages.
I've added the chat.
So Wendy, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about the impact.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the joys of working for My Hero is to feel that impact firsthand. You know, when the light in their eyes goes off by looking and learning about heroes, and then they realize and decide that they too can make an impact and do something with their life. And we've had kids, you know, decide that they love animals, and after doing workshops with My Hero and learning all about heroes, then all of a sudden they wanted to go raise money for the SPCA and help, you know, sell cookies to help raise money and do what they could. So, you know, the kind of impact here you see, these are statements from teachers who really feel the impact when they see their students, the light go off in their eyes, and the idea that how powerful it is in character education when the students learn about heroes and the role models that they realize that they can be heroes themselves. And I think there's a lot of power in that.
The other part of this, you know, the pictures on this page tell the story of engaging young people to use media to tell powerful stories of hope and inspiration. So, you know, the whole basis of My Hero is to use media, art, and technology to tell stories about heroes. And when students are challenged to use GarageBand to create a song about a hero, or to make a short film or an animated film, or to write an essay or a poem, it gives them mastery. You know, they're learning skills in media and technology and how to publish, and they're also thinking about what's appropriate to publish on the internet, because everything that My Hero, you know, publishes needs to be friendly for all ages. So again, we won't promote hatred, violence, racism, or sexism, and you know, that's a nice window for teachers to be able to focus students to create works that are positive. So we have something called the Learning Circles, and Wendy, Jewel, are you in the room here? Yes. Can we let Wendy talk a minute? Wendy's the director of the Learning Circles project that we do in conjunction with iEarn. Is Wendy able to speak?
So Wendy, she's been in the chat. If you click on your talk button, see if you're set up for that. If not, you can continue.
Hi, so can you hear me?
If she is, yeah. Can you hear Wendy? Yes.
Hi, Wendy and Jeannie. I think the most exciting thing about the Learning Circles that I discovered in 2004 when my daughter was 12 and we went to the iEarn conference in Slovakia. And what was amazing about the Learning Circles is kids from all over the world, kids and students from all over the world, work together to figure out amongst each other who inspires them and who is their hero. And you know, the great thing was that they brought their classroom into the world and the world into their classrooms, and that was really an incredible journey for all of them. And one thing that I do through My Hero is it's called the Call to Action Learning Circles. And what I love about the Call to Action Learning Circles is that it is all ages. It's K through 12 all working together. So the last session, we had a kindergarten class in Azerbaijan, and they were very nervous about participating because they were kindergarten students. Well, about a month in, the kindergarten kids from Azerbaijan were Skyping with high school students in Moldova and with middle school students in India, and they became kind of the rock stars of the Call to Action Circle, because all the kids of different ages, especially a lot older, loved these kids because they created, everything they did was for kindness, and everything they shared was all about kindness. Their call to action was kindness, and they made things for kids who were homeless. They made things and made food and delivered cookies to kids who didn't have very much, and the other kids around the world were really kind of blown away that kids that were 5 years old already understood how important it was to reach out to the other, to kids who weren't like them and who didn't have what they had. So it was really amazing. It's basically a 4-month program from September to the end of January and end of January to the end of May, and kids from all over the world work together, and they learn about each other and about each other's cultures and countries and heroes, and it's a very, very exciting, rewarding experience for everybody.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you for your leadership with this Learning Circle initiative. It's been so amazing to watch the teachers that you've been helping to mentor come together, work together, and continue to come back and evolve the project year after year. So thank you, Wendy.
You're so welcome.
This is more feedback.
Also, I put in the chat here, there is a more in-depth session with Wendy Jewell tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time through the Global Ed. So you can find us. You can get a little more about it, both of us.
And I just wanted to mention that my daughter Slater, who is a very wonderful film director in her own right, has been mentored by the My Hero Project since she was 6 years old, and she will be joining us for the session tomorrow.
Super.
So these are just different sort of testimonials, and you know, Mally Bickley, God bless her, has introduced My Hero to so many teachers around the world and throughout Canada, and Laura Neitzer in New Jersey has done an amazing job, and Guillermo, when you know, teachers from around the world and students who have been working with him in the learning circles when there was an accident, wrote a collective love letter to him, and it was so beautiful to see community come together and use the technology to share real feelings of support for a teacher that's in our midst. And that, you know, we really are building a family, and it's growing, and people seem to keep coming back, which we greatly appreciate. So this is now, we're talking about the My Hero Gallery. So when the project began, the internet bandwidth wasn't very great, and we started with text and stories. And an artist and a professor of art came to me and said, I'd love to start a My Hero Gallery over 10 years ago, probably 15 years ago. So the My Hero Gallery has been online with this idea of sharing images of heroes, which again, as we do global collaboration, sometimes you can say a lot with an image and then write a sentence to describe it if there's a language barrier. So the My Hero Gallery is a great place to explore the idea of heroism, to have students be creative, to make art that celebrates the heroes in their lives. And we have step-by-step tutorials to help you get there. And this is just an example. So we have professionals submitting art, again, as well as students. And we're giving a prize from Robert Shetterly, who does an amazing project called Americans Who Tell the Truth. And he's giving a $500 prize each year now for the artist who makes a beautiful portrait of a hero that speaks truth to power. So visit the My Hero Gallery and invite your students to become artists and to share their vision of heroism with us. And this whole idea of the digital portfolio, students that are in 3rd grade can use their My Hero account and use it again when they're in 5th grade. And they can create sort of a multimedia inspiration portfolio that they can use to enrich their own life and look at their own growth. So we give that to the students, and they can take it with them, and teachers can also organize the students' content by class so they can share it with their own group or their own community. We partner with Peace Pals International, and we're open to partnerships with other nonprofits that can help share this message and use creative media to expand the horizons of people about the different ways they can make a positive difference. So see, these are some of the partner organizations that we're working with. We also work with Guitars in the Classroom and have a song contest. We do events with the Laguna Art Museum and other cultural institutions, and are happy to explore those opportunities with people as well. Again, more feedback on our impact. And we have started something called the SALON series. So what we want to do is create community events. And we have tools and resources, films and art that you can use to enrich your own event. So let's say in April it's Jazz and Poetry Awareness Month. You know, we would encourage you to have your own poetry jazz salon at your school and read poetry and play some jazz music and talk about heroes who are making music and what that means to the community and how it lifts the community. We have had other salons that promote youth activism. We've had International Day of Peace events, and we've talked about accessibility and how do we respect people who have different challenges and how do we make media and technology accessible to all. So sometimes we have sign language people doing, sign language while we're showing the films. We're trying to be more conscious of the diversity of our audience and respectful of different people's needs. A new project that we've launched is Women Transforming Media. We did this with support from the American Association of University Women, and there are some beautiful short films about women who are using media to change the world on this portal on My Hero. So our International Film Festival, I'm going to give the stage to Wendy, who is the director and founder of the My Hero International Film Festival, now in its 12th year.
So what we're really excited about, our festival event actually will be taking place next week. So we are in the throes of honoring incredible heroes of all different walks of life. Here, this slide tells you about some of the kinds of films that you'll find in our screening room. And a lot of times what happens is we accept submissions from all over the world, and then the great work lives on in the screening room. So as teachers are looking for ways to enhance your lessons and play a short film to get started, you can go to our screening room and find incredible work. MyHero.com winners is where all the winning films live by year. So next 2 weeks, you'll be able to see the new winners from this year. So we invite people to share their films. And so by creating your own short film, you could then share with My Hero. And we found people like Slater, Wendy Jewell's daughter, is somebody who started as a youth making films and winning prizes. And she was so encouraged by winning prizes and being acknowledged at My Hero that she's gone on to make great work. And in fact, many of the people you see in these photos have very similar stories, where Kayla is in one of those pictures. She's another one where she's got a few prizes as a youth with My Hero, and now she's off just on a trajectory to make great films and realizing that she has a voice and she's going to have a voice heard. And some of the wonderful special awards we offer in our festival, we have the Ron Kovic Peace Prize, where Ron Kovic gives $1,000 to the film that best illustrates peace in the world, which is so important. The Sylvia Earle Ocean Conservation Award gives $500 for films that honor ocean conservation. The Dan Eldon Activist Award is presented by Dan Eldon's mother, Kathy Eldon. Dan Eldon was an amazing photojournalist who was stoned to death in Somalia. And in his memory, we've created this award for people who are activists and really taking seriously what they can do with their own lives and make a difference in the world. And then there's the Relationships First Award, which honors and respects the varying kind of healthy relationships in ways that relationships are so important. And there's a $15 to $100 prize there. So there's many awards. And then we realized that as teachers in the classroom, we have many resources for you. I put a link in the chat a little earlier for our media arts resources. So
I'll do that.
I put it in earlier, myhero.com media arts. And so we realized that it's sometimes not that easy to make a film, but in today's world, if you give, again, you trust the students and you give them a little bit of direction, there's quite a bit they can do on their own. In Wendy Jewell and my session tomorrow at 11 in the Global Ed, we're going to get into a little more details about that. But we really do encourage you to try filmmaking with your students. And we've had elementary kids do simple things like a montage, and we've had high school students do full documentaries with interviews. So it's all acceptable, and it's a wonderful place to let your voice be heard.
So that takes us up to My Hero Audio Studio, which is a newer addition to the website. We have stories and music and poetry that students can listen to. We have 400 spoken word stories they can read and listen to. We've also launched with Guitars in the Classroom a song contest so that people can write original songs and honor their heroes, and it's a fun way for a class to maybe get together and sing a song, write a song to honor someone local in the community or someone who's a global hero. So you can listen to excerpts from the book in My Hero Audio, and again, it's a great resource for ESL, and we also are looking for music. A lot of people would love to have music that they can use for their films, and inspirational music would be so appreciated if people want to share that in our library. We do some music arts education workshops and after-school programs at the Boys and Girls Club, and we're happy to help mentor and give teachers ideas on how to incorporate music into the program. So in our partnership with Guitars in the Classroom, we've launched this song contest with them, and they're a great nonprofit organization that helps teachers in schools around the United States use guitars and ukuleles to make learning in the classroom, whether it's about math or language, arts, to make it fun. So this is about our songwriting contest. Let's see what's happened there. And this is about our teachers' room. So we've had about, I think, 300,000 teachers a year access our teachers' room. And the teachers that come to My Hero are the ones who have been helping us build the teachers' room. So did something happen to the screen? Anyway, okay. So we have core aligned standards initiatives in our teachers' room. And we have multimedia resources in our teachers' room. And all of these materials have been really created and shared by teachers who have used My Hero, and then they've decided to share their lesson plans and their resources with other teachers. So we encourage you to do the same thing. If you've had a unique experience using My Hero and you want to share that, we have ways for you to add your lesson plans to our My Hero library. So, and we also have the curriculum divided into language arts, social studies, media arts, and visual arts. Environmental education, we really have a great library of films to support environmental education, and as well as lesson plans and curriculum developed by science teachers looking at the films and creating activities and resources. So we invite you to participate. We invite you to tell the world about your hero with your stories, your music, your films, your art, and also with VR. I'm going to let Wendy speak a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, this year's, or last year's film festival, we initiated a new prize called the Immersive Storytelling Award, because we were aware that, you know, technology is very exciting, and young people especially just love technology. So we're continuously looking for people who are using this most recent technology called virtual reality in ways that really try to help the world become a better place. And the winner of our Immersive Storytelling Award this year is a scientist from Duke University who has been using virtual reality to help people, paraplegics, learn how to walk again, because they have a technology that's helping to train the brain to go through the process of walking. So it's just really on the edge of using an amazing sophisticated technology for some real positive use. So that's exciting. And
and last year we gave the award to Noni de la Pina, who did a project about Syria. And this year's award is going to Dr. Miguel A. Nicolaias out of Duke University, and he's working with the Biomedical Engineering and Neuroscience Department at Duke University on a project called the Walk Again Project. And what they're doing is having people who are paralyzed use VR and avatars so that they can move the avatar. And what they have found is when they remove the glasses, that there's more brain activity going to the actual legs of the people who have been paralyzed. So by believing it, by being able to imagine it, somehow the messages are then being transferred to legs that weren't able to walk again. So it's a very innovative program, but it really speaks to the power of media and technology to really transform lives. And so we're very excited about the potential of using VR for good. And you know, the way the internet and the way that we're connected to each other through stories and art and films and music, and through our teachers' room and our social media platforms is another area that I'd like to talk about before we end and find out more about your questions. My Hero has a space on Facebook. It's facebook.com My Hero Project. We also have an educators group that you can request to be a member of. And we have a large presence on Vimeo. Many of our films are on Vimeo, and we also have a YouTube channel, My Hero, and a Twitter handle. So there's many ways to take part in My Hero and to join the celebration. And I think that it would be great if we could get your questions now and have a discussion with everyone.
So we could, Steve, I don't know if you can open the mic for people to talk. Generally,
Sure.
people can speak or raise hands, or if they want to put it in the chat, we're watching that too.
Yeah, so you can put a question in the chat, or if you'd like to raise your virtual hand, you do that by clicking on the third icon over in the participant box. It's the hand icon, and we'll give you the microphone and let you go ahead.
Can you tell us where you're from? Can we hear where everybody's from?
Everyone is quiet.
It's a quiet group.
Have we overwhelmed you?
It's a lot of information, and we know that. So we do encourage you to follow some of the links that we've given you there and really take some time to explore the depth of what My Hero has to offer. It's an amazing resource for teachers because everything's free and there's no
What would be a good starter project?
K8. Okay. I think that writing the hero story using the CREATE program is probably a great way to start because that's the way they choose a hero and they research the hero. Jeanne, you could probably speak more to this.
Right. Well, I think that the 8th grade, this is for K through 8th grade?
She said K through 8. Yeah.
So are you a media literacy or coach in the K through 8? Are you teaching all the grades? What is your area of expertise in the classroom? No, there's no restrictions on using materials in our resources. You teach, okay, social justice. So there are no restrictions on using the content on our library, on the website, and we are very committed to promoting human rights. And one of the things that I think would be so great, and we'd love to have teachers help, is to look at the Millennium Goals that the United Nations has. There's 17 of them if you're working on social justice issues, and have students pick one of the 17 issues that are critical to sort of making our planet sustain itself and grow, and then identify someone that's in your community that's addressing it, and start with a simple story. You know, the My Hero Create prompt asks for 1 to 5 paragraphs. And you could put 1 picture or you can put 5 pictures. You could put 1 link or you can put 5 links. And as you build the My Hero web page, you have access to the page while you're creating it. So you're saving it. You can work at home. You can work on the computer. And when you're ready to publish it, then it's reviewed by My Hero staff and activated. Once it's been activated by our team, then you can search our website for your students' work if they've logged in with you as the teacher, and you can create a directory so they could all read each other's stories, and then you could potentially share it with the school website, and it gets shared with other people around the world. So you can begin to use the project at grade by grade. You can use the project, if it's first graders, you might ask them to do an art project and ask them to write a sentence about their hero. And maybe if they're in 3rd grade and you have a music teacher, you could ask the music teacher to work with the English teacher to have the kids write a story or a song about a character in a book they just read. So there's so many ways to integrate the curriculum, and if you go to the myhero.com Teachers Room lesson plans, you can see lots of curriculum that's about the environment, that's about human rights, that's word search to build vocabulary, all kinds of ways to apply, and it's also devised by grade level. So it's pre-K through K, K through 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12, and by subjects. So and the subjects are media, theater, visual art, music, English, language arts, math, social studies, and environmental ed. And certainly ocean studies are also something we have a lot of resources for.
And I did put in the chat earlier, there was the link about we have an organizer page that tells about the Millennium Goals. So try to get in there and find that. It is a really nice place to start being aligned with the United Nations, given the Global Education Conference. I think it's all something pretty good. I know Steve had given the mic to someone. Was there someone who wanted to talk?
Okay, I'm also in the My Hero resources. You can download all kinds of PDFs and flyers that you can use to share with other teachers in your classroom. So we've made a lot of tutorials and training materials available in the My Hero Teachers Room resources space. We also have a calendar. That's another, you asked how would you start the program. You could look at the My Hero calendar in the teacher's room and look to see, you know, what's being celebrated. So the International Day of Tolerance is November 16th. That's coming up. That might be a way to talk about tolerance in the classroom and look at some of the stories we have.
And I also want to add there too that I think beginning lessons with short films is an incredible way to get your class inspired, whether or not you're doing filmmaking. If you're just looking to stimulate a conversation about tolerance, for instance, there's a number of films on our website that have to do with tolerance, and it's such an important issue right now in the world today. And so to start with a short film, and I put the winners link, myhero.com/winners gives you access to all the winners over the years. And you could kind of cruise through and find the short films that you think are fitting for your class, and I strongly encourage that idea. And I see a question, do you offer PD workshops in schools? We do come to schools and offer workshops. PD.
So we do, and you know, we're based primarily in California, but we do have partners in schools that are all over the country. So please let us know if you're interested in something specific, and we can try and assist you with that. We also use technology like Blackboard Collaborate to do one-on-one computer training sessions with people. If you need that additional help, we can do that. And, you know, the team, Wendy is curating the My Hero Film Library, and Victoria Murphy is the curator of the gallery, and Rebecca Miller is reading the stories. So, and Stuart Perlman is taking care of audio, and Wendy Jewell is taking care of the learning circle. So there's a very core group of people that are helping to manage the different parts of the program, and we work together, and we're available to help mentor teachers that are interested in using any one of the parts of the program. But it is really because of the teachers that My Hero has grown and succeeded, so we're grateful to all of you and to the students and teachers that take part in the project, because that's what's really at the heart of what we do and why we do it.
And we are such a resource, and sometimes people don't realize it, but for instance, with the film festival, if you have students working on films and you want to have little feedback before they submit their work, you know, we're open to that. We're open to watching some of the short films your students doing and offering feedback. We have members of the team that can do that and maybe give you an advantage when it comes to the competition, that people don't realize the kind of accessibility that there is. So I put my contact and Jeannie's contact again in the chat, and you know, we really are interested in learning about your heroes and finding ways to support you specifically with what your needs are. So be sure to, you know, reach out to us, and we're here for you.
The other thing is that we really value your feedback, and we are trying so hard to improve the website, and we're going to be launching a new version of the website in 2017. So please feel free to give us feedback and suggestions on ways you think we can improve the site. And you know, it's really a labor of love that has been started by moms who wanted kids to have more positive role models, but today it's really a very vibrant learning global community that's supported by the teachers and students that are participants. So we're really grateful to Lucy and Steve for including us in the Global Education Conference, and we hope that if you have any questions or comments now, we can answer them.
And also interested to hear about who some of your heroes are. If people want to just put in the chat names of heroes that you have, whether they're known or unknown, hopefully this talk would have inspired you. All right, Barack Obama, yay! I have to agree with that one. Hillary, yay!
There's a question.
No, we feel the importance of our work. We do feel the importance of this work now more than ever, because My Hero really is a bridge to understanding cross-cultural awareness and respect for diversity and the beauty of that. So if you're a teacher right now confronted with some kids who are really feeling outcast or being bullied or feeling like, you know, where's their future, I think My Hero can be a very valuable resource to you and your students, and we want to be there. And you know, our event that's coming up on Saturday, November 19th, we'll bring one of the participants in one of our partners program, Art Miles Mural, whose students made a mural out of rags. They didn't have paint and paper. And it's of children of all faith holding hands, and it's about 40 feet long, and it's gorgeous. And she won the first Ron Kovic Peace Prize for her movie Let Them Bloom, about letting girls have an education. And she's going to be at our film festival. I'm going to get to finally meet her. We've been virtual friends for over a decade. So My Hero is an online destination, but it also is a real place. And if you guys want to open your doors to hosting a My Hero celebration, we're certainly open to helping to support that in whatever way we can. One of the flyers that we have are that you can download on My Hero is how to host a Hero Fest, and several schools have embraced this idea and done, you know, K through 8. Each class has contributed something to the local Hero Fest, and parents have been invited, and speakers and movies, and it's like a celebration within the school of the heroes that surround the school. And My Hero is happy to provide some of our global films to enrich an event like that. So, you know, we've learned over the years that the online presence is really powerful, and we do get to connect in real life with many of the people that we celebrate and learn over the years about, like Mohammed Sidibe and Wendy Jewell and Slater. And it is a family that keeps growing, and now that you've taken part in this workshop, we hope you'll become involved and participate in the program.
And I love seeing a lot of the heroes people are putting in the chat. It's wonderful. Yeah. That's the idea. I think Lucy and Steve are all of our heroes today. Yay!
Let's clap for the Global Education Conference organizers. Yeah. Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Clap. Yeah, it's, I think more than ever, having the world come together, you know, in this way, it's more important than it's ever been. So I really, my hat's off to Lucy and Steve for the kind of hard work it takes to bring the world together in a sense of, under the guise of education, but it's like a unity, a unifying experience being part of this global ed conference. It's incredible.
Did you answer the question about whether or not you do PD workshops in schools?
PD in particular, is that something I don't know what PD means?
Professional development. Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can, and we will. And,
we will.
And,
yes. Reach out to us. Yes. We do professional development as well as we'll do workshops with the students as well. So, but we're very interested in helping more on the teacher training front.
Any other questions? You know, we can, we've gone through 80 slides, and this deck of slides will be available. The film will be recorded, so if you want to review it or share it with other people, you will be able to do that. And again, all of the materials that we create for teachers are available in the My Hero Teachers Room and in our resources area. So, you know, pour through that, ask questions, and let us help you if we can. And the gift that, you know, we're really trying to empower young people to understand their own power to affect positive change in the world. And the whole idea of using media and art and technology to do that and have them build their own portfolio and to understand as they grow up how their idea of inspiration may change and their role models. But if they keep track of it, they may in fact find out something deep about who they are and who they want to be. And you know, what we've been able to see over the course of time as people have grown up is Mohammed Sidibe, when he was interviewed as a high school student, said that he was going to be a human rights lawyer, and then he went to college and he wasn't sure that he wanted to be a human rights lawyer, and now he's studying for the bar to go to law school to be a human rights lawyer. And another little girl that wrote in our guest book when she was in 3rd grade, her dog Yankee was her hero, is now a veterinarian specializing in heart surgery for dogs. And later wouldn't give me back my video camera when I handed it to her when she was 6, and now she's directing a feature film. So from our perch here on the My Hero world, we've been able to sort of watch some of the young people that have been involved grow up and see how their ideas of heroism have sort of helped shape who they've become. And it's been a real privilege for us to be able to do that over this course of time. So it's a very unique opportunity in this world where it's filled with so much negative energy, to be able to sort of celebrate the best of humanity together with each other and build a strength through our partnership with each other.
So this is pretty obvious, but do you use the hero's journey as a part of working with youth?
Yes, there's a lesson plan and resource, and we'd love to build more on that. And Joseph Campbell's work is very important. He's celebrated on the website, but we could certainly do more with that.
Yeah, there was actually a film submission this year that kind of outlines his work in an animation. It was really cute. Yeah, we love Joseph Campbell.
So this would be a good time to wrap up, so people can take a quick break and get to the next sessions.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jeanne Meyers.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks, everybody who's joined the room.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, and we're going to turn the recording off, and you do need to exit the room in order for